What if I told you that drawing realistic cloth comes down to understanding how light behaves on a surface? No need to memorize hundreds of wrinkle patterns. Just three things: the form underneath, where the light is coming from, and smooth transitions between light and dark. Master those and you can draw any fabric you want. So today I will show you exactly how those three principles work while drawing this blindfold and the neck cloth. And by the end you will have a system you can use on any fabric texture. So let's get started. Before worrying about folds or texture, the first thing you need is a believable form. Think of this stage like sculpting clay. You would not start carving tiny details into a lump of clay before shaping the basic mass first. The same applies to fabric. If the form underneath is flat or uneven, every wrinkle and highlight you add later will only make those flaws more obvious. The texture will look painted on instead of real. I'm starting by converting a 3B pencil into graphite powder and applying it with a medium dry brush using small circular motions. At this stage, I'm simply creating an even base while keeping the pressure very light to avoid streaks. One thing you will notice is that I'm not applying the same amount of graphite everywhere. The deeper folds naturally receive less light, so I'm layering more graphite there, while the raised portions stay lighter. This simple difference in value is what starts building the three-dimensional structure of the fabric, long before any highlights are added. Also pay attention to the direction of my strokes. Every stroke follows the contour of the fold. If a fold curves, my pencil curves with it. This is something I see many beginners overlook. They shade in random directions and then wonder why the fabric looks flat. But if your strokes wrap around the form almost builds itself. Once the base feels even, I blend everything using a clean tissue paper with gentle circular motions. Do not rush this stage because smoothness is what makes soft fabric actually look soft. A patchy base will always produce patchy highlights later. Now that the base is ready, it is time to bring the folds to life. Before touching an eraser, always stop for a second and steady the light. Ask yourself which part of the fold is facing the light and which part is turning away from it. That single observation will tell you exactly where every highlight and shadow belongs. By the way, if you're a complete beginner and you keep throwing away your drawings because you feel like you just can't draw, it's not your fault. You just don't know the basics yet. And that's exactly why I made this full course, to help you go from shaky lines to realistic drawings step by step. It covers everything from basic lessons to advanced techniques, tips and tricks, all structured in a clear step-by-step format, so you don't have to guess your way through it. Thousands of students are already learning and growing through the course, and I put my course on sale for 5 days every month just for my YouTube family. Check the link in the description or comments to see if the sale is live right now, and get enrolled before it ends. Now look closely at the shadow side of each fold. You will notice there is a specific band where the darkness is deepest. That is called the core of the shadow. It is the point on the form that is turning farthest away from the light, before reflected light starts bouncing back in. Finding that core on every single fold is the secret to making fabric look rounded instead of flat. If you just shade the whole shadow area evenly, the fold loses its volume. But if you locate that darkest band and let it fade into reflected light on one side and into mid-tone on the other, the fold suddenly becomes three-dimensional. Here is the other important factor. The type of fabric you are drawing actually determines how those highlights should look. Smooth fabric like this blindfold can take crisp, bright highlights because the surface reflects light directly. But if you were drawing a wool scarf or a denim jacket, the same crisp highlight would look completely wrong. Coarse fabric scatters light, so your highlights should be softer and more diffused. Understanding this difference is what separates realistic fabric from fabric that looks stiff and artificial. But in this case, since the blindfold is smooth, we can go brighter. For the softer highlights, I'm using a perfection eraser. I keep the eraser at a low angle and gently lift the graphite while gradually reducing the pressure. This creates a smooth transition from bright to soft, making the fold appear rounded instead of flat. Whenever I need a crisp edge, I switch to a mono zero eraser. and carefully trace along the highest ridge of the fold. Those thin highlights instantly define the fabric and make the fold stand out beautifully. If a particular area is much brighter because it is directly facing the light, I simply switch to the electric eraser. It removes graphite much more efficiently and creates those strong reflective highlights without affecting the surrounding texture. You will also notice that I do not leave those bright strokes as they are. I often go back with the kneaded eraser or a perfection eraser to soften the transitions even more. The goal is not to create bright white lines. The goal is to create smooth light that naturally wraps around the fabric. All the reference images you need, including the grid and outline versions, are available on our Academy site to make your drawing process smoother and more structured. This is where many beginners start adding random wrinkles, but that is actually the biggest mistake you can make. Instead of thinking about wrinkles, think about the form underneath. Every fold behaves like a tiny hill. The highest point catches the strongest light, the sides gradually become softer, and the deepest valley stays in shadow. As you continue working, you will notice that the process never really changes. First, define the brightest edge using the mono zero or the electric eraser. Then soften that highlight using the perfection eraser. And finally, adjust the surrounding shadows whenever needed. Sometimes the highlight does not look bright enough. Instead of making it even whiter, simply darken the shadow beside it using a 3B pencil or 8B graphite powder. It is amazing how much brighter a highlight appears when the surrounding shadow has enough depth. That is the power of contrast. In fact, this principle works everywhere in drawing. If you want something to look lighter, darken what is next to it. If you want something to look smoother, place it next to a rougher texture. Contrast is what creates the illusion of reality. Whenever the graphite starts looking slightly rough, lightly blend it using a blending stump or a dry brush. If you ever feel overwhelmed by too many wrinkles, here is a simple trick. Just slightly squint your eyes while looking at the reference. The tiny details will disappear, leaving only the major light and shadow shapes. Build those first, and then slowly work your way back to the smaller textures. You will be surprised how much clearer the big picture becomes when you stop squinting at every tiny crease. Small adjustments like these help maintain the soft fabric texture without destroying the details you have already created. If you want to watch the full step-by-step tutorial of this drawing, you can access it on our Academy site. Link is in the description. The cloth wrapped around the neck follows exactly the same principles, even though the folds are slightly different. I begin by creating another smooth 3-dimensional base using 3B graphite powder and a large dry brush, before switching to a medium brush for the smaller folds. Once again, I am carefully applying more graphite inside the valleys while leaving the raised portions lighter. After blending the base with a tissue paper, I start adding the highlights one fold at a time. Sharp folds receive crisp highlights from the mono zero eraser, while the softer areas are developed using the perfection eraser. Whenever I need an extra bright reflective edge, I simply switch to the electric eraser before softening everything again. Notice how the folds on the right side appear much softer. That is because less light is reaching that area. But here is the key. Even on the shadow side, light is still bouncing back from the surrounding surfaces. That is called reflected light, and it is what keeps the shadow side from going completely black. When you look at the right side of this cloth, you can still see the form, but the details are muted and the values are softer. Instead of forcing bright highlights everywhere, I am allowing the values to stay quiet. This difference in brightness between the lit side and the shadow side is exactly what makes the fabric look believable. One thing I want to emphasize here, do not try to make every wrinkle equally detailed. Some folds deserve sharp attention because they are catching the light, while others should stay soft and quiet in the background. That variation is what makes fabric feel natural instead of looking stiff or patterned. Before we wrap up, let me share a few extra techniques that will help you the next time you draw fabric. Here is a powerful one that most artists do not know about. It is called the indenting technique, and it is perfect for drawing stitched edges, seams, or thin bright creases in fabric. Simply draw the directional lines first as a guide, then take an indenting stylus or a nail art dotting tool and press firmly along those lines to create grooves directly in the paper. When you shade over the area afterwards, the graphite skips over the grooves and the lines stay perfectly white. If you do not have an indenting stylus, you can use a dried out ballpoint pen or even a screwdriver. This technique works beautifully for fabric, leather, and even wood grain. Do not try to memorize the shape of every wrinkle. Every piece of fabric folds differently. So instead of copying random lines, spend a few seconds understanding why that fold is there. Is the fabric being stretched? Is it bunching up because something is pressing against it? Once you understand how the fabric is bending and where the light is hitting it, drawing the texture becomes much easier. Instead of seeing cloth as one complicated object, break it down into smaller forms. Every fold has its own highlight, mid-tone, and shadow. Once you start treating each fold as a separate little three-dimensional shape, the entire fabric suddenly becomes much easier to understand and draw. A lot of beginners think every fold needs a dark outline, but that is rarely the case. Most folds become visible simply because one area is lighter and the other is darker. So instead of outlining, focus on smooth transitions between your highlights and shadows. That is what gives fabric a soft and realistic look. And with that, this cloth texture is complete. Always remember that whether you are drawing a blindfold, a scarf, a shirt, curtains, or any other type of fabric, the process never really changes. Build the three-dimensional form first. Understand how the light is wrapping around each fold. Find the core of the shadow on each one and let the details follow naturally. Once you stop copying random wrinkles and start understanding why those wrinkles exist, drawing realistic cloth becomes much easier, no matter what reference you are working from. Also, if you are an absolute beginner and want to learn drawing from scratch, you can join our drawing course on AHR Studios Academy. It is now trusted by 20,000 students across 165 countries. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.